control as well, if you will. Something they were letting go to the wayside when focusing on too many kills on the side of Teammate. Cloud9 just overall looking to see if they can get that power back into position and start going up the right road.
That's true. I really like the Cloud9 team composition as well right here. It just seems like a nice balance of tank line with some successful support for them, especially if it's a tank fizz diving into that back line. The Karma shields will be pretty immense to try and keep them alive.
Just keep it in the mind, let some Varus Qs go out, get some pokes, lower health, kill the enemy team. Hopefully they don't get dived on too hard with teammates engaged in this one. Now you've got to look at the comps. Head over to Twitter and send hashtag C9win or hashtag T8win to @LOL Esports, and we'll be tallying those up throughout the game already into week 3 here. The summer split's going. This year itself has gone by so fast, and we've already had an amazing amount of action, and it's only going to continue all the way up till another week 9. Right now, we're going to get onto the Rift. Cloud9 versus Team 8. Cloud9 looking to stop the losing streak. Team 8 looking to get another win here.
Yeah, trying to end the week 2-0, which would be quite a turnaround from the 0-4 start that teammates so disappointingly had for themselves. Neither of these teams have had much joy in this split, though.
It's going to be difficult. Both found a struggling win, if you will. Cloud9's came after TSM was pretty much mashing them into the ground, and then they were able to pick themselves back up. Teammates, they had to really fight, and even had a few mistakes where Nien would get caught out in the middle of the game, and they'd have to fight back to get their lead. So
something that keeps happening for Cloud9 is they are actually falling fairly far behind in the first 15 minutes or so of the game. I mean, even against Team Liquid, by the time 17 minutes rolled around, they were down 3,500 gold. From there, they were actually able to claw their way back to about a 500 gold deficit, and then they lost in the team fights. But that's not very characteristic to when Cloud9 was dominant, where just by sheer mechanical skill and laning, they'd usually have an advantage on opponents, and that's what snowballed into team fights. But when you have the disadvantages, snowballing into team fights just takes you out of the game.
You just saw Meteos going wherever he wanted, doing this and that. Like you said, because the lanes were winning, everything seemed so much easier. Boom! Third shot. Just being a bit of a bully. Calitroll should be able to come back to the lane just fine.
Yeah, trying to delay his recall as long as possible because they're expecting some type of double jungle start from Calitrolls, and they want to make it so he cannot make it there. However, this is really interesting, actually, because teammates been able to make it into this side of the jungle, not necessarily spotted. It is a suspected invade.
Yeah.
But at the moment, teammates going to be able to get this red fairly cleanly.
Do it right quick. No ward to see Dodo or Nien on the way out here. Be a little bit of cat and mouse, but he just makes it away. Meteos is going to find just a little guy.
Yep.
Interesting start.
Yeah.
See how far Porpoise can actually get with this.
Porpoise is going to regret not taking that little guy because there's about a quarter of the experience of the entire camp in just one of those small camps. So he ended up handing out over that experience to Meteos at not much cost. And Meteos will still be able to get his blue buff, which is the main buff that matters early game for Gragas. So buff-wise, technically, teammate can come out ahead. But experience and gold-wise, it actually doesn't help them very much.
Balls did make it to the top lane first, so he starts to clear a bit here. Should have a lead with Wolves under his belt in that experience as well. As Incarnation starts to take a bit of aggression here from the mid lane. We'll see how he fares in this one. Like I said, he himself said he wants to be able to be aggressive. But that hasn't really helped the team in the early game. He actually shies away from the aggression every so often. Doesn't want to be the guy to fail. That's a big stress to have on your shoulders.
Yeah. There's a lot of stress on a lot of these guys, especially with the early struggles that they're having.
Your Meteos talk about being behind when High was on the team. It didn't feel like they were behind. They always knew what to do. Now it's kind of a moment where they're stuck, and the decisions they make may not be the right ones.
Yeah, all this stuff takes time for them to eventually improve. But right now we actually get to see Meteos knowing he's going to have a level edge on Porpoise because of the way the early buff started, trying to get in a little bit of harass. Maybe even
would love
get
that
himself a red buff. But in order for this to happen, either Incarnation or Balls has to be able to shove up the lane and then make the rotation down. Otherwise, it's far too risky of an invade.
He's got a shove onto Cali, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Not close enough to the turret here, and no response from Incarnation as these two are pretty much neck and neck in the mid lane. So not going to be able to get his red. Porpoise is going to be able to 3 this one. Start it off. We haven't seen too many teams really be able to work this early game advantage.
Yeah.
Kind of just falls to the wayside, and the opposing team will figure out a way to get a fight back in their favor. Ooh.
Look at this little slap fest up here.
200 HP on balls. That's going to be the hit. Tick goes down, but he's already got the consumables going in. Both of them blowing summoners left and right. So that's a flash TP down and a TP smite down.
Yeah, this is actually really bad for balls in the top lane on Maokai, though, because the wave is pushed against him. Both of their teleports are down. So basically, if balls goes back here, he's going to miss a couple of waves of experience that Calitrolls is going to be able to get. Since balls started the camp, teleported in the lane, and then still lost the lane, it's going to put him at a pretty big disadvantage. Yeah, Calitrolls is just successfully freezing that lane up there.
Yep, Porpoise already got some forward vision in, so a bit of an advantage here to teammate in the early game. They're going to have eyes on Meteos if he's in the top side, and if he's not in the top side, they're going to know that because he's not on the ward.
I do want to spend a small amount of time to talk about the new Karma, though, because in the 5.10 patch, Karma was changed a little bit to be less of a mid laner and more of a support. So, for instance, her E, the shield she puts on, when she mantras it, it used to be this explosion of damage. Now it's just a much more powerful shield when you do that mantra. So, at max rank, it's actually a 410 base shield before AAP ratio is put into account, which is massive, but of course won't do any damage. And in this rare case, if you mantra your root, you can root someone for over 3 seconds, which will be very rare because the shield is so powerful.
So look at this. Meteos level 4, and he got 3 buffed over the level 3 of Porpoise so far, so doing what he needs to.
Yeah, and we've actually seen 2 3 buffs this week that haven't necessarily panned out for the team. Yesterday, the CLG game against Gravity, there was a successful 3 buff, but because the buffs themselves were over-prioritized and the small camps themselves weren't being cleared, in the CLG vs Gravity game, for instance, by the time they had a 4v4 skirmish, there was a level advantage for all 4 members of CLG over Gravity because of the 3 buff. And this is another thing. Porpoise only taking the buffs, not clearing the small camps nearly as well as Meteos, leading to a level disadvantage and ultimately not an actual advantage from getting the buffs early.
Trying to get the wards in. He obviously won't find anything on the top side of this, or I should say the bottom side of this map. You would figure that as he just saw Meteos on his side of the jungle, but bot lane gets a little love as there's a 1v1 in the mid lane, down to 200 HP. Hail of Arrows goes out, doesn't have enough for a piercing arrow, and it probably would have needed 2 autos on the end of that one. He puts himself a little too deep. Incarnation goes for that aggression, but it's not going to be enough for Porpoise either. Oh, the slap fights.
Yeah, there was a lot of patience being displayed by both of those mid laners. Notice how they both have both of their defensive summoners up. Flash heal and flash barrier. They just knew there wasn't legitimate kill threat from either the Nunu or the Varus themselves. Smart of them to hold on to their summoners. Just a big game of chicken, basically, trying to burn a summoner that both those guys were playing.
They held it. They pretty much ran face-to-face into each other on that one. We'll see who wins on the next one. A great game of chicken indeed. Meteos to clear Raptors. We'll see here where he heads with this. Get some clearing on the map as well. Already used the sweeper once, so Sneaky gets bounced off his rocket.
That's too bad for Sneaky, actually. Mainly in the Jinx versus Corki matchup, you have different item timings. The Corki wants to start rushing his Trinity Force components, whereas the Jinx wants to rush a BF Sword. Sneaky had the BF Sword, and that recall is going to delay it. But now we have a dive onto balls. Missed the fish.
Whether he's on Rumble or not, definitely very hard to dive this guy in the top lane. He's able to get out. Good twisted advance at the right time, saving some HP. Getting his rear out safe.
Yeah, even if the fish landed, level 4 Nunu with a Sidestone coming in to assist that gank really isn't much. But nonetheless, it goes to show Calitrolls did have the edge in that lane. Maybe forfeit a little bit of it early on. What's interesting is he has the TP Smite, but he is foregoing an early Cinderhulk completely. Going straight into Trinity Force Fizz.
That's a good point.
That's fun.
Shifting Sands, Emperor's Divide does not get the range on Incarnation. It would have put him right in the turret range, and that is an error from Slushy, and a first blood for Incarnation.
Yeah, that Emperor's Divide's a tricky skill right there. Slushy thought he was in range to knock him back. It looked like he was going to be in range to knock him back. But ultimately, when he all-in like that, did not land the ultimate. It just kind of set up an easy kill for Incarnation.
There it is. Incarnation smiling with the Faker and the Pawns of the world, playing Varus in the mid lane.
Get it! a smiteless invade for the blue buff steal. Meteos actually punishing Porpoise pretty heavily. Gragas versus Nunu this game.
He got angry. Usually it's the other way around. Usually Nunu's having his way with your jungle.
You took my red buff. Coming at
took
you.
my red buff. I'm taking everything you ever owned. Scuttles as well, owned by Meteos in the mid lane. Meteos Industries taking over. 9 minutes on the clock, and it looks like a good lead. You were talking about Sneaky wanting to back. It's because he has a 20 CS lead. At that point, he was already 1,800 gold. And he even put it up to a few more CS. And instead of boots, he went for the pickaxe too. So they're going to win just about any trade in that bot lane.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Nian's sitting on 2,200 gold. Ultimately, I imagine he's waiting for a Sheen and a Phage, which, no, he's going back right now. Wanted to go back.
So close.
The timing itself, as far as Miss Minions, won't be bad, but yeah, he just... Nian's considering. He had the Phage, and he's like, nope, I want the Sheen. Sheen and the Health Crystal? Yeah, that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
For immediate damage in the lane.
But don't you just want to buy the Mana Crystal and
He
the ability
wanted
to...
both of them.
Why not?
But he didn't have enough money.
Oh, that buy hurts. That's good, though. His works out. He definitely went for the damage and the Phage. I like it. 85 to 15% here. Teammate really working against the vote as much as they can. More forward pushing here by Teammate. They want to slow down Meteos just a little bit. He's been making things way too easy for the rest of the lanes.
Hey!
This may be the point they get it here. He's going to body slam out, chum the waters. Slushy can't get into range for any more than just sand soldier damage. Easy to say. Just miss.
Limited ward coverage right there, which kind of led to Cali Trolls being able to roam down to that bottom lane without being called at all by the top lane. Ends up costing Meteos both his flash and his body slam. Will curb the aggression early on in this match. And we still need to talk about the team comp. So Teammate is actually looking to split here, going into the mid or late game. Slushy obviously giving up the solo kill kind of really hurts that, because if Varus can get the mid-game snowball going before people have a lot of armor, the poke and siege potential of that is massive, especially when they have Karma's giant Mantra shield for disengage in the mid-game. So Cloud9 is actually kind of on pace for a good mid-game snowball here with the way their lanes are going. Ball's been getting beat on a little bit, but hasn't suffered a casualty. Meteos ahead of Nunu to kind of helpfully deny the vision control. Most importantly, this Varus poke is going to be brutal.
Yeah, by this time, when Boss was playing Fizz against Liquid, they already had a few kills on him. Much more aggressive. And they tried once, but with the Maokai, he was able to stay alive under the turret and really thwart the attempt from Teammate. So they are still trying, just not coming up with anything in the end. Hopefully, the team fights we were talking about for Teammate are really start stacking that money in their pockets. Just about 2K gold behind right now. Dragon hasn't really been a thought on either of their teams, and small trades here by Teammate in the bottom lane as they try to get the win.
Yeah, you could see though Lemon Nation popping the Inspire shield on right as Alistair comes in, so Sneaky's saying relatively safe.
I'm surprised Nian
still that CS advantage too.
Yeah, I'm surprised Nian is this far behind on his Corki. Nian's the guy who was in mid on Corki, the guy who's been AD on Corki. That's one of his champions, so they're giving him a very difficult lane if that's the way it's going.
It's what's been happening with Yen in the LCS, though. When he hasn't been in a lane swap scenario, he's been down.
That's, the lane swap.
On average, at least 7.5 CS at 10. This game, even more. Sneaky and Elimination have kind of been the strong point of Cloud9. Yet teams that have beaten Cloud9 have put a lot of pressure onto that bottom lane. Porpoise, because he's been so shut out this game on Nunu, hasn't really applied any ganks. Nunu himself doesn't really apply many ganks. He's more about shutting down the other jungler. So thus far, like the Nunu purpose from Porpoise has been not that impressive.
Yeah.
But Dragon,
that was very close.
Oh. Everyone is ready for the steal.
I thought it actually took it at first.
Yeah, somehow Porpoise did
Nian got it.
Smite at the right time.
So something happened there. Oh man, that too. Right down to about 75% HP. Here comes another one just to the backside of Slushy, and this turret should be going down regardless soon. We see Meteos starting to push a little bit towards the river, and they may start to get good pressure. Pink ward from Slushy should keep him safe from the overall dive, but you can see how much more C9 wants to push this. There's the pings on Meteos.
Yeah, they're really applying pressure to this mid and bottom lane, which is another thing that's allowing Meteos to create these advantages on a Porpoise in the jungle.
Yep.
Of course, Cloud9 going for this mid-game snowball. If they don't get it, they're going to still be at danger of Slushy's blood-boiled Vizier later in the game. I mean, that's kind of how Teammate picked up their win against Enemy yesterday, even though Porpoise was really far behind on Nunu, since when they double jungled, he actually gave a lot of early farm to Calitrolls, his Smite top laner, and Hecarim, who then was able to snowball the game from that as well. So Porpoise can play from a deficit on Nunu. He's done that before and can do it quite well.
Man, it's going to be hard.
This game, it's going to be hard.
Walking around a security system of wards right now. Meteos was just able to put in, along with clearing that pink ward that Slushy put up. This could be the kill. Oh, right into the turret. That's what he wanted. The flash out from Incarnation. It's going to be Meteos to help him pick up the kill as they 2v1 dance around the mid lane.
Woo! So this time Slushy does get the Emperor's Divide back into the turret, but it's not enough because Meteos was there to help him out on the other side. Turret under immense pressure, but Incarnation obviously too low to withstand. Picking up that Brutalizer and pickaxe though.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's gonna hurt.
They had their eyes on the mid lane and pretty much stuck with it until they found Slushy to go down again. He's 0-2-0. Like you said, those summoners are blowing on him, so it's gonna be harder for anything to happen for Teammate. A little bit of a breather here for Cloud9. They're pretty happy with what just happened, and they took bottom turret in that instance as well with the pressure that Sneaky and Lemonation are putting on. 142 to 118, just cause.
He wanted to steal it.
He's close.
Couldn't steal it. They need to go back to base as well because Corki just hit his Trinity Force item timing, and Sneaky needs to match that with an Infinity Edge. Being able to kill that turret, though, just kind of goes to show the superiority that Sneaky and Lemon had in that lane. Jinx Karma versus Corki Alistair.
Every time they kind of, I wouldn't say bring something new to the lane. We've seen things before, but the way they play it on the LCS stage, now the Karma Jinx for this split, it just kind of takes people by surprise. Nien and Dodo not having the greatest time in that bot lane. Have finished the Trinity Force, as we were saying. But Lucidity Boots here for Lemon Nation to keep that harass on as they were in the lane.
There's a lot going on in this game as far as Cloud9 being able to dominate the mid and bottom lane. But I'm really curious as why Calitrolls has a Smite top laner and no Smite item going Trinity Force first. Because if he wanted a combat summoner, he could have won the lane with Smite Teleport. He would have killed balls in 1v1s if he... Sorry, not Smite Teleport, with Ignite Teleport.
Right, okay.
Like a Hecarim would do if he's going to go
almost had me.
with the
Like,
Smite or the
going?
Ignite. Yeah, sorry
Gotcha.
about that.
Very good.
But because if he's going this Smite Teleport thing, the reason that's good is when you get Challenging Smite, it's like a slightly weaker Ignite on a shorter cooldown, and you can use it to duel people consistently.
Yeah.
At this point, he's only going to have that Smite item really late into the game. Maybe he's not even going to go Cinderhulk. I just think it's a weaker early game strat, where he could have had an early game advantage.
Dive number 2. They try once again. They are going to have a third member here. This is where Calitrolls can start to get himself a little bit back into the game if they hadn't got enough already. That one goes over to Nien. They do get the assists in, but a lot of resources to the bot lane for what's happening top.
Yeah, the question is how much is that going to cost them? Yes, they picked up their first kill of the game onto balls, but what does Cloud9 get after it? Teammates not even getting their first turret, whereas Cloud9 is picking up their fourth thanks to that roam. If you're running an analysis after that one, definitely not worth.
No, hashtag not worth. It happens, even if you say it in chat. Minute and 30 onto Dragon. This preps nicely for Cloud9 to have time to set up more wards and play this one methodically. They haven't gotten themselves into any trouble just yet. And that kill coming only from the bot lane because Balls was kind of left out to dry there. Not much anybody could do about that. Teammate knew that. Right onto Slushy, looking for the big one as well. Right back into the turret. Didn't actually get as much distance as they wanted. It may save his life. Oh! He's got just about 10 HP. And the absolute zero zones out the fight just enough, but he stays in range for the piercing arrow. One more coming from Incarnation before he hits the ground. And now they're on to Lemonation. He puts himself back in the fight, so hopefully Sneaky can get away. But somehow Teammate has found the fight. They call me wrong. Cloud9 did go too far, and they overstayed their welcome to get aced on this fight. It's only going to take a bit more. The big one hits, and he's going to get chomped down by the Wolves.
Far too far on the chase to get a Slushy kill. they did so much right that they felt cheated that they didn't get that Azir kill. First off, Meteo's knocking him back to a flash as Azir, then he blocks his QE combo to keep him in range, but the Emperor's Divide rules all. It stops them from finishing the kill. Porpoise comes in, gets a full channel absolute zero in, and then the collapse actually arrives from teammate to get cleanup afterwards. This game was so well controlled by Cloud9, and they just lost the majority of their advantage.
It just opened up for teammate.
Yeah. First off, they speed him up with Karma, which is really nice. They knock him backwards. Meteos blocks the move. They're thinking, great, he's dead. But they're pulverized at the beginning of an absolute zero, so they're too slow to get out of it. It blows them up as they're going through. The missile from Sneaky gets absorbed by the tank Alistair. Pretty much after the initiation, everything went wrong for Cloud9. Calitrolls arrives for the collapse on his Trinity Force Fizz, which gives him the gold, by the way, for the Cinderhulk, so he's now turned on as far as power is concerned. And it's right as the Dragon is respawning as well. That was so amazing for Cloud9, or for teammate in their quest to win this game.
And you could see Incarnation was thinking what everybody else was. Slushy's going to go behind the turret. He completely whiffed that Chain of Corruption, firing it where Slushy actually would have landed, but he stopped on the structure, so that was very big as well for that to happen in favor of teammate. Dragon goes over now, not going to be stopped by Porpoise on that one. Nothing coming in the super rocket area. Oh, Nian very low. There's the rocket. Meteos gets to chum the waters. He's perfectly fine with that. He loves seafood. 6-5 now, 20.5 in, and you can see the gold leads closed up quite a bit here. The deficit is only about 2K now for Team 8. That Dragon helps them in their pursuit to 5, but they still have quite a long way to go.
Yeah, I didn't actually quite see how Nian got so low there. I was paying attention to Calitroll's flank around the side. That significantly hurts this turret game, again for teammate, who's going to be playing pretty heavily from their back feet. Calitroll's trying to get that split push going as well, though.
It's good to see C9 not afraid to just get back out on the Rift and start going hard. They knew they had pretty much the bigger lead in the game, and they once again use it. Take a turret, pressure Dragon. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
It's a strange thing. Cloud9 had such a huge lead coming into earlier fights.
Yeah.
Now we're going to get to see how people were actually low here. Nian gets popped by one Varus arrow coming through. Then he gets hit by more Varus stuff. Then another Varus thing. Literally, that was Incarnation hitting him with 3 poke spells, and then the finisher from Sneaky. Kind of goes to show the threat of the Varus poke once he's got that CDR coming through.
Also the focus of Incarnation in that instance.
Yeah, for sure.
Just getting crushed down. He's like, still got to hit backline. Ooh, a little scary there.
This game really accelerating in pace.
Sneaky heads back to the turret. Elimination, maybe to offer him some help with that Ardent Sensor he's now built up.
Ooh.
First item after Sightstone.
Ardent Sensor Karma. Obviously, Ardent Sensor was changed recently. It now applies a 30 magic damage on-hit effect for 6 seconds to anyone you heal or shield, which, by the way, if he's doing AoE shields for both of his AD carries, can be pretty impressive damage-wise. Cloud9 kind of still in control because of the 5 turret lead, but they have to make sure that they don't overcommit. Because if this does get to late game, the Blood Boiled Azir, despite being 0-3, because he will still have his items, he's doing significant damage, can still destroy them.
Looks like they're pretty good on waves. Calitroll's about to push the bottom one. Actually, they're getting, I should say, pushed in on waves. Looking at it again. Nian and Dodo in the top lane have good control over that. C9's going to say, group in the mid lane. What can we get out of this? Protect Incarnation, protect Sneaky. We should be able to come out clean on these fights. They actually aren't too pressured. Teammates just going to want to... Okay, so now they're coming in. I thought Nian was backing, and they start to come back over here. Interesting. They're just kind of waffling about right now.
Well, this is the game that teammates going to be playing. It's a split push game to try and prevent the 5-man siege from Cloud9.
Right.
Calitroll's at a point with his 202 Fizz, Trinity Force Cinderhulk against Balls' Maokai, where Calitrolls will win that fight. So Cloud9 cannot 1-for-1 that split push, meaning they have to do these kind of creative rotations. We're not starting that ward thing again. Never in a million years. Anyway, where Calitrolls is drawing a lot of attention up from Cloud9, and Cloud9 needs to get all the way shoving without a split pusher in order to actually create one of these siege situations.
Thinking they had a quick engage. Looks like it was called off there. Maybe just safety for warding. And no, it is going to be a bit of an engage up onto balls here. The team starts to collapse. They don't have Cali Trolls, but the teleport is up, and he will throw that down already. He's going to be right in the midst of the fight on this. Stops the TP. He's going to start walking up. They may not feel like they can win this fight right off the bat.
Yeah, Cali Trolls is now so far away. It's full retreat mode for Team 8.
Oh, twisted advance on in the end. Is the Valkyrie still there? He is actually stuck. There's the lockdown from Lemon Nation on the tether as well. The double kill for Sneaky. Things are just going wrong now for Team 8 as C9 starts to put the heat on.
Team 8 trying to exploit the wave clear of Cloud9. It almost looked like they caught balls out of position, but the speed shields from Karma really reigning supreme. There's a nice knockback.
Hardly any damage to Meteos. Slooshy was trying to get some pokes in, but he just gets shredded down himself. That's a triple kill overall for Sneaky. Two more. He's got the inside the park pentakill.
That's a game-changing event right now. Cali Trolls still with no teleport, trying to push the mid lane. There's too long on the death timers. No one to wave clear for Team 8. This is probably an inhibitor down.
Wow, that teleport not coming through, completely affecting the fight. Now costing an inhibitor. Cali trying to make up for it. He is going for broke on these inhibitors in the mid lane and might actually be able to get that turret down for his team here. He does have the Sheen proc to go with it.
Yeah, Trinity Force Fizz, an okay turret killer. Trying to proc the Trinity Force, but unfortunately when he Qs through a minion, that consumes the Trinity Force proc, so unless he's burning his Playful Trickster for another Triforce proc, he's not hitting the turret any harder. The attack speed, though, doing a little bit of work, unable to finish the whole turret. If he would have burned his Playful Trickster, he might have gotten it.
Took a little bit of damage, burned it over the wall. I'm perplexed.
Perplexed as to what just happened.
I feel like he knows something we don't.
Well, he wanted it to escape. He is a tricky one.
Oh, Incarnation. Love it. So he has got himself now Yomu's on top of the Last Whisper. A little bit of the old Legolas build for him. Those Lucidity Boots to continuously throw out the piercing arrows. 20 seconds on to Dragon before we get a little bit of that fight. Oh! Got him. Chain of Corruption does hit. Nian got the cast for Valkyrie off. It only gave him a little bit of distance, but he still goes down. That's two members for Team 8 now lying on the ground. Incarnation trying to kite out of this one, but he gets trampled down by Dodo eventually, and they are going to be able to close in on this. We see that Sneaky got a kill on the top side there. They don't even want Dodo. Great focus, great call to go for the turrets.
And I love the confidence from Incarnation there to instantly flash ult onto them right there, because that will grant them the second inhibitor, maybe full control of the game, and that's not a play Incarnation would have thought to make earlier on in the season because he didn't want to be the one to mess up. Nope. This time, he's the one to make the play, and it grants Cloud9 a good edge.
They all follow through on that one. Communication
Porpoise better hurry.
At least on point for the time being. We do know the late game to be where Cloud9 can make some mistakes. Here it looks like they're going to actually pick up one more advantage. The twisted advance. He's not going to be close enough. Oh, he steals the dragon. Porpoise gets out, though. I don't know if anybody's going to be able to chase, but Meteos. The tree versus a big man. Oh, here comes Incarnation from the other side. He's just going to pick himself up a freebie. Here's a gimme. Bloop. Gets him down.
Bullseye.
Bullseye. Right in the hole.
Yeah.
Nice.
Porpoise was up the
Sinks
creek
that
without a
one down.
paddle right there, trying to get the Dragon Steel. Anyway, let's watch this fight. So they already lance a poke onto Nian. Instant chain from Incarnation after the flash, and then comboing him. And also putting themselves in a position where the Emperor's Divide was used in a very strange way. Yes, the Emperor's Divide did kill Incarnation, but it also got rid of Team 8's secondary carry, and they needed Azir to clear the waves afterwards. Basically, Cloud9 doing a great job of focusing down the Azir and Nian's Corki fight after fight. But mainly it's Cloud9's aggression this game, specifically Incarnation's willingness to be an initiator on the mid laner, which is, it's a factor that Cloud9 has been so used to playing with, having a mid laner who's willing to initiate, and it kind of needs to be there for Cloud9 to succeed, I feel like.
And it looks really good with them 5-8. Oh, ball. Nope, Meteos, look out. Balls does go in onto Porpoise. It's a very kind of tempered fight here. No, Dodo, however, in from the backside, really heats things up. Lemon Nation goes down immediately. No more shields from him. Slooshy gets taken out, so he cannot help control the zone now. Cali Trolls still has a good amount of damage, but Sneaky has the peel. He has the kite. He has the quadra kill. 17-9. Cloud9 going for the last of the base.
Great positioning, that fight by Sneaky in particular. The rest of the fight was a whole bit of chaos. It looked like Meteos was trying to body slam to finish off the Raptors, but he killed them all, so his body slam took him right through the camp. Or it was all a brilliant plan for Cloud9 to get an ace and try and push in and end the game. Sneaky,
the ruse of ruses.
Kills it quick.
Porpoise doing what he can, get a nice blast onto Sneaky, try and slow down that attack speed, but it's not going to help too much. You can still see he has an ample amount of damage. One Nexus turret goes down. Minions pouring in the base of Team 8 here as Cloud9 get a huge win on that fight.
Yeah, I want to see the start of that fight again. That was an interesting one right there. If anything, it was an opportunity for Team 8 to try and come back into the game because Slushie wasn't immediately focused.
They had good initial hits, but the long fight just went to Cloud9.
Yeah. The double threat.
Let's see it again.
Yeah, so watch this. Meteos, he like smite barrels. Like he didn't even body slam into a person. If anything, he was going to go into a Nunu. Anyway, the Absolute Zero zones out for a little bit. And Dodo comes around with a pretty nice flank. Slushie then goes over the wall. He got off a tremendous spike there, but because Sneaky was positioned up top with his miniguns, not only can he solo out in the end, he can then turn his attention to the rest of the team. Heals to get the extra move speed after getting excited. Some crit rockets come in at some pretty opportune moments, and he just crushed them all. Because Incarnation got wiped out right at the start of that fight.
Been a few times where they can take or lose him and then keep going in the fight. Chain of hit Callies. There's the zap as well, so they have full vision. Piercing arrow just off on the side. Shurima's legacy is going to give a little bit of room to Team 8, but not Slushie. He is invaded completely by that zap. Right onto Cali Trolls. Arcane Smash takes him down as well, and Cloud9 is not stopping. Anything that's in front of them is getting taken down right now.
Yeah, only one Nexus turret remaining. The Azir wave clear is gone. Yen trying desperately to spam rockets. I don't think it's going to be enough.
Not long for this world is that Nexus of teammates. 19-9 as Cloud9 come out with a pretty confident win here. It looks strong throughout. Meteos holding down his own jungle after being hit in the early game, and everybody came up for the victory. 21-9, 31 minutes in. Cloud9 take down Team 8.